Good Thursday evening and welcome to 4 FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Shane Pendleton.
I'm student meteorologist Matthew Reagan. It's really been a gloomy one out there today.
It has. January is meant to be a kind of cloudy, cold, gray month out there, but today was no exception here at FSU.
Yeah, and as much as we're smiling now outside, not many people want to smile, but maybe later on in the next couple days, they'll have something to smile about again.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, just to recap what we saw today, we saw temperatures barely break into the 50s, sit in the upper 40s for most of today, with a light drizzle falling, none of that heavy torrential thunderstorm rainfall, and a light wind, so just keeping it not so cold that we need a parka, but just uncomfortable enough to need umbrellas, jackets, and the rain gear.
And being visiting the Northeast a lot, it kind of felt like the bit of the Northeast, kind of the cold, the rainy atmosphere, just not in the 30s and 20s, thankfully just in the 40s.
Yes, and none of that wintry precipitation that, would get us more excited than this general rainfall here. But what we're going to have a big story going on the show today is that things are going to be taking a turn for the sunnier, we expect.
Yep, that's right. In the next couple days, all this rain and cloudiness, we haven't seen the sun in a few days here in Tallahassee.
It certainly feels like it, just occasionally poking its head out to remind us that it is still up there in the sky, even though we have kind of forgotten that.
And we've got a lot to talk about in today's show, including the changing weather patterns. And to give us a little bit of an overview on that right now, we're going to send it on out to Coral.
Thank you, Matt. Now, before things change, we're going to have to be dealing with all this. And this is the rain that we just haven't been able to shake off the last 3 days. It's been causing us those cloudy, dreary weather situations. So none of us are really happy about that today, and it's definitely bringing us a little gloom and doom. Some of us are ready to see the sunshine again, but the good news is it will be here. And that's the changing story as we continue on for the rest of the weekend. As we go forward, we do have our headlines saying we do have the cold weather is going to be moving out, and then the sunshine will be coming back in for tomorrow on finally Friday. So most of us will be very excited about that. And of course, the mild temperatures will be returning, so a bit of a warm-up. No more freezing temperatures, at least not until the day. You're still going to have to deal with them overnight and into the early morning hours. But things right now are going to be fine. So if you take a look at your overnight temperatures, you will see they are going to get in the upper 40s for most part, lower 40s as we continue the day. But as we continue, Shane and Matt will tell you some more.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Coral. We got the AFC Championship game coming up this weekend on Sunday, and we do have to mention there's going to be a little bit of rain up there.
Yeah, there's a good chance that the teams will be sliding around on the muddy field up there in New England, in Foxborough, right?
That's right. The Colts are going to be taking on the Patriots, but we've got a low pressure system that's going to be moving on up the East Coast and causing quite a bit of a headache up there.
Yes, this is going to be responsible for heavy rain, which may lead to the chance of flooding, so anyone driving around in the Northeast should be careful. This isn't going to be an all-out nor'easter, but it is going to be, as you say, a bit of a headache.
Yeah, that's right. In portions inland is where they could see a bit of that snowfall as well, maybe in the mountainous terrain.
Yes, we want everyone in the northern Appalachian Mountains to be especially careful, as there is always a chance of mudslide in the elevated terrains with any accumulating rainfall.
That's right. And then moving on out, back down here to Tallahassee, we're going to send it on out to Allie.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, we are still here in Tallahassee feeling just a little bit of light rain, sitting at 48 degrees, so it is pretty chilly still, at least for me. That dew point, 44. Fairly close to 48, which is why our humidity is also high at 86%. So I don't know how my hair is still straight right now, but somehow I'm making that work. So we'll just keep on going and look at our current temperatures around Tallahassee. We're sitting here at 48 degrees, but look at that for consistency. That is fairly consistent around the region. 46 up there in Thomasville, 46 in Quincy, and just slightly warmer towards the coast down there in Apalachicola there at 52. But for our 24-hour temperature change, this is where you can see that cold front. We are feeling nice and chilly because of that front that is in the process of passing us, and you can see that through these numbers. These are negatives because our temperature is dropping. So this is the change in temperature over the past 24 hours. So in Tallahassee, we're looking at 7 because it is getting cooler, and that unfortunately will still be cool tonight because of all of this activity. Look at all of that color. That is all that rain associated with the cold front. It is passing through our region today, but good news is that today is the last day we're going to be seeing these rainy, kind of cloudy, gloomy conditions, because tomorrow that sun is going to be on its way out. So we will continue on to our futurecast, and all of this white, those are those clouds that we have been seeing for the last couple of days. I know it seems like it's just every day we wake up and see clouds, but don't worry, just stay tuned, and the weather will be getting sunnier as we go. These clouds are over the entire state of Florida, so don't just worry. It's not just Tallahassee. Everybody is feeling it. And that stationary front down there in Miami will continue to bring them rain for the next couple of days. But we'll set this into motion to see these clouds start to, oh no, we won't. But if we did, we would see those clouds start to move out across the area to bring us just a little bit of sunshine tomorrow and continuing on through the next week. However, now we will go to tomorrow's forecast. Tonight is going to be a nice 43 degrees. You can still see that 90% chance of rain. So if you are going out, don't forget that umbrella. It will be needed really all night. The rain is not expected to end until 2 a.m. So if you are going out, please bring your jacket, bring that umbrella, be prepared. You know, better to be safe than sorry, but it will be needed for tonight. However, as we look into tomorrow, 58 sounds a little bit better than the 48 that we saw today. So we are going to start to see those sunny skies towards the afternoon. If you have an 8 a.m. class, you might still see those clouds in the morning, but they will begin to push out. And then we will take a look at our 7-day forecast, which is starting to look better, seeing all that sunshine as we move into next week. And those mid-60 temperatures sound like music to my ears because I am kind of over that gloomy days we've been seeing. But for now, we are going to send it out to Shane with our Southeast.
Thanks, Allie. And the Southeast has gotten a lot of the same story today that we have. It's been gloomy and it's been cold, except here in South Florida where it was 78 degrees today in Miami. That was far from cold. It was 50 degrees for a high in Tallahassee today, 45 in Montgomery, and only 38 degrees in Atlanta. It's been quite cold in the northern region of the trio of states here, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and we'll come to that more later. For right now, though, let's take a look at what the temperatures are currently across the Southeast. 48 here in Tallahassee. Our temperature has not varied that much today, and it's just remained pretty uncomfortable, not quite so cold as to need a really heavy jacket, just chilly enough that we can't go with just a t-shirt. Let's look at the rainfall right now. We've had this incredibly large mass of rainfall moving eastward across the panhandle today, and that's why it started drizzling during the mid-morning hours, and it is not letting up, not for about 6 more hours or so at least. The moisture across the Southeast, however, gives us much of the same picture. This big collection of bright whites and greens is getting out of our way finally, and that's going to allow us to see some drier air, those darker shades moving in behind it. For right now in the Southeast, we're going to see a low of 40 degrees tonight in Tallahassee, 32 in Atlanta, and well below freezing in Tupelo, Mississippi at 24 degrees. How high will it climb tomorrow, though? Well, we're happy to say it'll get up to 60 here in Tallahassee, likewise in Savannah, and finally back up into the 50s, more seasonable temperatures for Montgomery and Atlanta. And Miami topping off, as usual, again at 76 degrees. And now we've got a special story to tell you about from my hometown in North Alabama. Huntsville received a good deal of snow today, which is pretty unusual for this time of year. We had lots of rain and sleet moving in, and winter weather advisories do remain in effect for North Alabama. That's Madison, DeKalb, and Jackson County, as well as Moore and Franklin and Lincoln counties there in Tennessee. And that's going to remain in effect for about the next 50 minutes until 7 Eastern, 8 Central, and we're going to be giving you a bit more of a report on that now from the desk.
That's right. You were saying before how you're from Huntsville, and it's kind of abnormal to see that snowfall, especially accumulating snowfall, at least in a little bit, get that far south.
Yes, we usually only see snow about once or twice a year in January through March. And here's a photo from our friends at the National Weather Service in Huntsville that shows the accumulation that was received today. Looks like not much more than an inch. What do you think, Matt?
No, it doesn't look like too much down there, but being from South Florida, that definitely looks crazy to me. I would like to play out in that.
Yes, I got a report from one of my friends who's studying atmospheric science at UAH there in Huntsville, and she reported that it was sleeting from about 9 a.m. onwards until that mixed with light snow around lunchtime, and she reported decent snowfall that lasted for over an hour, which is pretty impressive for North Alabama.
That is, and I also heard you were talking about earlier how they canceled some after-school activities as well up there.
Yes, that's a common procedure when snow falls like this. It's going to have melted overnight and shouldn't be any more of a threat tomorrow, but for the sake of safety, they want to keep as many people off the roads as possible in light of that accumulation.
And that does make sense. And I'm going to give you a little bit more about what's going on in the rest of the country, including Huntsville, as we were talking about just a minute ago, because the snowfall is coming down in many portions of the United States. And as we look at those current temperatures across the country right now, it's not as cold as what we've been seeing over the last few weeks or so. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about later on in one of the segments with Allie and Coral, this warm-up that's coming later on in the next few days. So right now we see across the United States, 71 in Phoenix, and Miami, you're the warm spot at 75 degrees. So if you're going out to the beach, Miami, that's the place you want to do it. So as we move out to the satellite and radar, here's what's going on around our area. You see this mess down here. This is just an atmospheric mess sitting on us right now. Rain, we got snow up in portions of the Tennessee Valley, up in Huntsville, as we were saying earlier, and just lots and lots of rain inundating, this time, the Panhandle. Yesterday, we saw the peninsula getting all the rain. Today, we see the Panhandle getting most of it. And then we also have this up here, a little bit of a snowmaker going to start pushing on into the New York and the northeast states, into New York, Pennsylvania, and Maine. They could be getting some snowfall, as we were talking about earlier. And then this is just going to ride up the East Coast and spread some rain for our folks up in the Northeast. And then, of course, Seattle, it's raining, but we'll get to that more in just a minute. Here's that snowfall we were talking about earlier, the snow indicated by the blue, and then the pink. We saw those icy and sleet-like conditions, and then, of course, the rain farther south in portions of Georgia and here in the Panhandle of Florida. As we move on up to the northeast, we see that snowfall coming once again. Buffalo, you're forecasted to get lots of lake effect snow once again in the next couple of days. So watch out, Buffalo. You could be getting that lake effect snow machine to turn on a little bit as well. Seattle, as I said before, I like to pick on you because you rain all the time, but we've been the Seattle of the southeast for the last couple days. Kind of cold and rainy, but that'll change here once we start to warm up in a little bit. And the desert, you're living up to your name as well. It's rather dry in the desert now in Albuquerque, Phoenix, parts of New Mexico, and Arizona. You're really on the dry side down there. And here's a look at the rest of the nation once more. We see all that rain down here in the southeast and then dry out into the plains as well. But let's take a look at those futurecast temperatures, because this is something that we need to take a look at here, because we haven't seen these warmer temperatures, and albeit 44 degrees isn't the warmest in my book, but it's still warmer than the teens that we were seeing earlier in the winter. That temperatures start to dip down just a little bit in New Orleans, down into the 30s, and once again into Friday during the day, they creep back up. Miami, you're 72, so you're feeling rather beautiful down there. And then once again, over Friday night, those temperatures start to dive once more. So tonight, here's what it's looking like around our area. 40 degrees here in Tallahassee. The rest of the country feeling pretty blue as in cold. And then Minneapolis, you're at 14 degrees. But we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on in our area here with our next local.
It's cool across most of the country. The main story here being that the temperatures really didn't move at all today. Low this morning was 47 degrees, and actually that was right around noontime. We only made it up to 50 degrees about 3 o'clock this afternoon. No change, and that's because of all the rainfall that we saw this afternoon. Not a whole lot of rainfall, but it was enough to keep the temperatures in place. Still 48 degrees here in Tallahassee, down at the airport. Light rain being reported there with east-northeast winds at 6 miles an hour. And that's going to be the story over the next 6 hours or so. It's going to take that long to get all of this rain out of the area. You can see most of the heavy rain is moved off towards the east, but there's still lots of sprinkles across all of our area right now. Clouds not even breaking until probably tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning, just after sunrise. That rain breaking around midnight tonight. 48 degrees here in Tallahassee right now. Same story across the entire Big Bend. 46, a popular number. Monticello, Thomasville, and in Bainbridge, all seeing 46 degrees. Perry as well, seeing 46 degrees. And it's been not too wet and not too dry. And that's why those rain amounts haven't been all that high today, and they haven't been all that low either. Right around 1/4 of an inch in some spots across the Big Bend area. Just about everybody seeing rain today, and that's going to be the story. Most of us will be seeing on and off rainfall through this evening and into tomorrow morning. Clouds breaking early tomorrow morning. That whole system is going to be pushing off towards the east. The sun will be breaking out. Clear conditions will be returning with northerly winds tomorrow as we see some drying air coming in during the overnight hours into tomorrow. That's going to bring in a week of sunny conditions, really. Maybe a couple of clouds as we head into Sunday, maybe a shower on Sunday as well, but really the next whole week is going to be fantastic across much of the tri-state area. 46 degrees here tonight in Tallahassee. That's going to be right before sunrise when those clouds start to break up and some of that heat starts to finally be able to escape out into space. 90% chance of rain, just light showers, nothing really to worry about, nothing to change your plans with. 43 degrees in St. Mark's and in Carabel, popping back up to near 60 degrees tomorrow afternoon. 58 degrees in Tallahassee, 59 in St. Mark's. Warmer and a northwest wind at 5 miles per hour. 57 degrees in Carabel and Apalachicola. I want to focus on this though. Look at all this sunshine. We've had days of clouds, days of rain as well. The next rain shot is going to be Sunday. No hamper to those Martin Luther King Day plans for the 3-day weekend. If you're lucky enough to have a 4-day weekend for tomorrow, no bothers there either. Heading out throughout the next week, we're going to be back up towards 70 degrees as we head towards the middle parts of next week. A little bit cooler, although the cool spot this week is going to be Saturday morning, 36 degrees, but really not even that cool. Heading back up towards average as we head into the weekend. Warmer even so as we head into the middle of next week. But I hear we're going to talk about more about the weather and some stories going on around the country now. Coral?
Thanks, Jonathan. Now, I would say around the country, but we have something more interesting and a little more out there.
Yes, maybe to the moon, actually.
Yes.
So the big story right now with NASA is that in the year 2015, they are going to try to grow vegetables on the moon.
Now I hear they're trying to grow basil, turnips, and something similar to cabbage.
Exactly. These are the 3 plants that they're going to start with. And when I first heard about it, I was super excited. I was like, how are they going to grow these vegetables on the moon? But really, it's not as exciting as I was first thinking, because basically they're going to put these in canisters.
So they're not planting it on the moon.
Right, they're not being planted on the moon, but there are these canisters that are sealed with air, and they have a reservoir of water. So basically everything that a plant needs to survive, they're going to send them up to the moon, and they're going to be monitored from Earth to see how they germinate, how long they live, and if plants can grow, who knows what'll be next.
Maybe we can potentially survive in space. But as we, move on out through everything, we do have a little connection here in Florida to space, and that would be the space station.
We do here in Florida. And speaking of Florida, we will start to look at the temperatures that we hit today, fairly low. As I know here in Tallahassee, we were feeling those low temperatures, and they were feeling it all the way around Florida. In fact, our low temperature in Tallahassee was 47 degrees. They hit 44 over there in Pensacola. And of course, just a little bit warmer as we head south. They were at 63 in Miami, but still fairly cold because of that cold front and because of all those clouds. We just didn't really see the sunshine, which of course would have warmed us up. But for now, we did have some low temperatures. Our current conditions, though, in Tallahassee, still cloudy and 48 degrees. A little bit of rain still lingering around, 45 in Jacksonville, 55 in Orlando, and Miami is at 75. So they are slightly warmer, but unfortunately you can see all of those clouds. We are basically just sitting under it, and no sunshine for us today, but that will change as we head into tomorrow. Our satellite and radar, all of these clouds just bombarding Florida. You can see that cold front coming in, giving us the rain in Tallahassee. So it isn't going to be a pleasant night for us, unfortunately. Don't forget those umbrellas. And as if rain wasn't bad enough, it's also going to be cool. So if you are going out, bundle up, bring that rain jacket, bring that umbrella, whatever you need to do to stay comfortable. We'll even look at Central Florida, and even they are getting the rain. That cold front, as it pushes through, it's basically going to hit everybody. So unfortunately, no one's having a great day today. It was just, one of those days with lots of rain, lots of clouds, and some cooler weather. But for our futurecast, it is going to start to clear up as we head into tomorrow. So you can start to see Tallahassee and the panhandle of Florida will start to see clear skies a little bit sooner. If you have an 8 a.m. or a 9 a.m. class, you might still see some clouds in the morning, but hopefully by the time you get out, it will be clear skies and sunshine to kick off that weekend. As we keep going through tomorrow, you can start to see Central Florida clearing up a little bit. They will start to see that sunshine by mid-afternoon, but Miami is still going to see those clouds into the evening tomorrow. They might see sunset, but I'm not sure yet. Still looks pretty cloudy down there for Miami. For tonight's forecast, still fairly cool as that cool front is affecting all of Florida. 37 over there in Pensacola, very chilly for me. Still 40 here in Tallahassee, 51 in Tampa, and 65 down there in Miami. So pretty cool for them as well. But tomorrow, what is that? Is that a sunshine? We are starting to see sunshine finally for Florida. So that is the good news. Even if we have to endure one more night of a little bit cooler temperatures, the sun is in store for tomorrow. Tallahassee, we're hoping to get up to 60 degrees and 59 over there in Jacksonville, 65 in Tampa. And unfortunately, that stationary front is still going to be affecting southern Florida. So they are still going to see those clouds and slightly not so comfortable temperatures down there at 76 in Miami. But for now, we are going to take a look at winter weather, aren't we, John?
We are, and there was quite a bit of winter weather around the nation. Not really any impactful weather, but there were a couple of flakes across northern Alabama, and they actually had yesterday along US 58 in southern Virginia and North Carolina, right around the border, they had about 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain. There could be a couple of flakes falling there today. They had some flakes in northern Mississippi and northern Alabama today as well. That's that same system that we are seeing here in Tallahassee. It's an impulse moving through the upper levels of the atmosphere that is crisscrossing the country right now. That's going to be out of our hair by tomorrow. Just some rain here across the southern part of the country, but look across the northern part of the country. They've got a lot of snow across most of the northern part of the country, maybe Oregon and Washington there being the only ones in the northern part of the country seeing a lack of snow. And this is really going to be melting over the next couple of days because of all of this warm air, high pressure in control, bringing in plenty of warm air. Kansas City sitting at 46, Minneapolis sitting right on the freezing line there. That's going to bring in a little bit of melting as temperatures warm up through the next day or so. But we can't forget the snow showers we had today in Tennessee, Alabama. They had, we saw the picture a little while ago from Huntsville, about 1 inch to 2 inches in parts of northern Alabama. 2 flakes flying in the northern parts of Georgia as well. Freezing rain, really the big trouble across just west of Knoxville, across the borderlands of Tennessee and North Carolina. Asheville picking up a little bit more snow. They had some yesterday as well. Winter weather advisory for the northeastern parts of Alabama and south central parts of Tennessee. That's mainly just because they don't see a whole lot of flakes, snowflakes this time of year, or really any time of year, so it causes travel troubles there. Across southern Canada, there's a low pressure center crossing the southern part of Canada, not having a whole lot of effects in the U.S., but it is snowing in Sault Ste. Marie, as well as crisscrossing the Great Lakes. Toronto seeing a little bit of snowflakes today. So the lake effect snow machine is going to be really kicking into gear. So Buffalo seeing 1 to 2 inches of snow. Nothing they can't handle though. Some snow falling in Boston as well. What you can't see on this map is the wind chill and all of the wind that's pumping through this area. Wind chill advisory in effect for northern Maine and in parts of New Hampshire as well. Temperatures there falling to below 0 tonight. Really, the wind is the main story there. Wind chills are going to be feeling like negative 40 degrees in some of these communities up in northern Maine. Boston seeing a little bit of snow, so they do have some travel troubles there in the Boston area. The next storm system that will be crossing the country today, all rain in Seattle for now. Medford seeing similar conditions, but this is going to turn into 2 to 3 inches of snow across northern Idaho, across the Continental Divide as well, near Billings. And some of these places could see upwards of hurricane-force gusts in some of the highest peaks there. Tonight, we're seeing temperatures on the cool side still across most of the country. It'll be another day or so before we can get some of those warmer conditions into the area. 14 degrees in Minneapolis, warming up to 23 in Minneapolis tomorrow, but there's more warm air on the way for most of the country, correct?
That's right, John. Now we have a big warm-up starting actually today. It's working its way from the west and towards us, so we will be seeing those warmer temperatures very soon, and that all started out in the west and it's moving into the Rockies, and tomorrow parts of the plains will be seeing it.
That's true, and of course they're not going to be spring-like temperatures quite yet, but they will be warmer, and you know, for me, I'll take anything. Anything will be better than these cooler temperatures we've had.
Yeah, if it's in the 30s, I don't do it.
Yeah.
So, Chicago and Minneapolis are going to be above freezing for the first time since January 3rd, and you know, for them, they're used to like the negative, so this is a big warm-up for them.
That's true, and some more stats are in Kansas City and St. Louis. And they're going to have low 50s, so they haven't seen that in a while either. So the low 50s for them will feel quite nice. I mean, you know, even here, the low 50s aren't bad, but for them, that's definitely feeling good.
Yeah, and you know, Dallas and Fort Worth, they're going to be temperatures up in the 60s. So, you know, nice, comfortable temperatures for us in the southeast and in the south. So, actually, I think we should ask Matt what these warmer temperatures are going to do for us.
That's right, guys. The temperatures here are really just kind of miserable today, but they're going to rebound in the next couple days. But let's take a look at today, what we saw. Today we saw a high of 50. In some areas, we didn't even break the 40s, and then the low was 47. So the temperature variation really wasn't that much, just a few degrees difference between the low and the high. Average, we can see 63 as the high, 39 as the low. And then look at those records set back in 1937 and 1964. Really just a huge temperature swing, but we didn't even come near those records today, which is a nice thing despite all the rain that we were having. But current conditions as you walk on outside, really just miserable, at least in my opinion. If you like this weather, then, well, then head on outside, I think. 48 degrees. Light rain, the humidity factor up 86%. So as I've been saying the last few days, that frizz factor, I'm keeping it at a 9 now, and then that'll start to go down over the next couple days. But currently around the Big Bend area, 46 in Perry, really just the story around here is 40s everywhere. Then Apalachicola, you're on the coast, so you're sitting around 51 degrees. But this rain cooled and really just cool air sitting over us right now, keeping it rather comfortable outside with a little bit of rain. I'm going to step aside for just a minute because this is just so much to take in right now. Look at this rain mass that just poured on over the Big Bend and the Panhandle today. Rain everywhere. You just walked out in it. It was just a mess. But I got good news for you. That's going to be changing over the next few days. That rain is heading on out of there. So cloud cover and rain today is going to give way to some sun. So here's what we're talking about right now. We got this low pressure, an area of disturbed weather here in the Gulf of Mexico mainly, and the stationary front draped over the state. That's really causing us some headaches for now. And as that starts to move on out of the way, this high pressure starts to build in. And see that? Clear conditions and no clouds either. So the sun will be making its triumphant return back into the Panhandle. So as we move on into Friday overnight, just much of the same. The high pressure is going to build in even stronger, keeping the clouds away and the rain gone as well. So that's going to stick around for the next few days, but let's see what's going to happen tonight. Much the same, 43 as the low, 90% chance of rain, which means it's raining outside. So grab an umbrella, grab a poncho if you're going to take that route. Friday, it's going to look really nice, rebounding nicely, slow warming day up to 53 degrees, and the rain will be gone. But let's take a look at that 7-day forecast because, as one of our colleagues, Shane, likes to say, it's 7 days and 7 suns because we haven't seen the sun in a long time. Look at that, a beautiful 3-day weekend we have coming up with highs in the 60s. Lows aren't even that bad. So, Allie, Coral, let's take it away.
Thank you, Matt. Things are tightening up this semester. Like, it's the first week of class, and we have a nice long weekend to look forward to. We actually have some exciting events going on, don't we, Allie?
We do. So right now there's a women's basketball game going on, and this weekend there's a big men's basketball game, and they're kind of having a little pre-party showcase down at the Plaza. That's from 11 to 1.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, plenty of games and food and lots of excitement. It'd be fun for college students. It'd be fun for the family, and plenty of sunshine. So I hear.
Yeah, and I heard they had inflatables, so lots of fun for the kiddies out there. Yeah.
It should be gorgeous. Look at those temperatures. Plenty of sunshine. Saturday is going to be nice, 64 degrees. And really throughout the week, those mid-60s sound pretty good to me.
They sound warm. After being in like the 30s and the 40s and it's cold and dreary, I'm about ready to just enjoy
Bring
some
in the
sunshine. I'm ready for that.
Of course, yeah. So next week will be very nice. So don't worry about the cool tonight. Don't worry about the rain. It's moving its way out.
Now,
go ahead.
Oh, if you're excited about the sunshine, why don't you tell us on Facebook and on Twitter? You can always shout out to your favorite student meteorologist, and of course, watch us anytime on live stream.
And go ahead and like us on Facebook, Twitter, live stream. We're on Instagram too. Don't forget about Instagram.
Yeah, so why don't you check back in tomorrow with actually, who is in charge tomorrow? Oh, well, we'll have more student meteorologists back tomorrow, so we'll see you then.